All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's show, and thank you to Global Sources. I think this is our third year of attending Startup Launchpad. We've been here since the beginning, and it's been a very, very good show. Let me grab my clicker. All right, so our topic today is to build and maintain global partnerships. And before I do that, I want to do a little quick introduction about Asia Combine and who we are. So Asia Combine has been a company working with mainly North American retailers and wholesalers for the past 25 years. We partner with a slew of different companies as well as ship to many different other companies through wholesalers, importers, etc. So a list of a couple of large brands that we work for in the past or currently: Brookstone, Things Remembered, Bed Bath & Beyond, Macy's, Walmart, etc. A lot of these large players in the US that we work with and we have experience dealing with, whether it's through their safety protocols or through how to really ship products through to them. A little background on our product experience. Our products are pretty diverse. We worked with a lot of different products, as you can see up here. Audio products, travel, massage, comfort, pillows. We've done a lot of different products. And ultimately, a lot of these just to show you products of what we've done before and really try to give a little bit of information to a lot of our, to a lot of our partners here to see maybe they can get better at building better partnerships in the future. So here's a little bit of our fields of experience. We at Asia Combine do product development mainly, usually with new products, working with different manufacturers in all over Asia. We do graphics and packaging design, strategic marketing, QA, and QC. So basically from start to finish. We serve as an integral piece with our partners in the US to really ship their products and also connect with manufacturers here. So we know a little of both sides. We know a lot of what stress points are on each side and what happens. So I want to give you a little bit of feedback so that you guys can take a little bit, go back and maybe change some things that you do. And we obviously have a long experience with shows. A lot of the shows are up here. I'm sure a lot of these shows, all of you guys attend as well. Computex, CES in the States, IFA, Global Sources, HKTDC. A lot of these shows are all very good experiences for us to really connect from one side to the other. And I think it's fair to say that everybody here has had a large amount of experience with all of these shows. But there are things that make things different from one partner, or from one company to another. And really, in the next few slides, I want to go into a little bit of detail on what that is and how we change. Because as you see in all of these shows, hundreds, thousands of people attend, and you really want to make sure that you have an impact over a lot of other people who are attending the shows. I'll note about Global Sources and their show, which we're very happy to come in and partner and represent them, is that I think the Startup Launchpad here is a very unique experience that allows a lot of new and upcoming companies to work with one another in a very intimate setting. We've also dealt with a lot of one-on-one meetings in the past through the Startup Launchpad, and I feel like the Startup Launchpad is a very good experience for us, to work with one another, especially for manufacturers. I think that's one piece that's missing in the past, and it's something that I feel like is very American, is adaptive in a startup system. I feel like it's very positive for a lot of Asian companies because before, it seems like everybody's worried about the secrets of the trade. They don't want to talk to one another because they're worried that they're going to rub off on one another. But I think over time we see that, especially in the States, a lot of the startups are doing that. They're sharing spaces, they're working with one another because working with one another is able to move us faster than we are before. So I'm very grateful that Startup Launchpad, I think, gives a good platform for everybody to come and mingle and talk with other people because a lot of the startups in the same shoes that you are in face similar issues. And that's one of the reasons that I think Startup Launchpad creates a great environment because you're able to hop over certain issues that may have taken half a year of trial and error before. So I think working with one another is actually a huge piece of how we get to the next step and how we become better to building these global partnerships. So obviously, with the title of my presentation, everybody knows what are we looking for, how do we exactly become better partners, and we'll go into that. So for partnership, I feel like these are some things that a lot of people miss, and let me define them first, and I'll go through them one by one to make sure that we don't miss anything and we can take away some things that might be able to help us in our meetings in the future. First is the target audience. Whenever we have meetings, I feel like, especially from the manufacturer side, a lot of people have great products. They'll come and say, hey sir, have you seen this new power bank that we have? Do you want to check out the power bank? But I think the main issue that a lot of people miss is that they don't really have a target audience. They don't know who they're going for. They want to take a shotgun approach. And in our past history of dealing with different manufacturers or also with retailers, it's very important to be honed in on what you're looking for. So for us, a lot of times when we work with manufacturers that have these type of approaches, it becomes very difficult because whether they're shooting for a high end, whether they're shooting for wholesale and they're shooting for volume, it's unclear. And when you ask them, what are you looking for? Who are we supposed to ship this to? Basically anybody. I think target audience is very important because it also defines these companies and see how you can work with one another. And that goes into my second point, which is vision. One thing that I'm very proud of, that happens a lot in the startup Launchpad, it seems like a lot of people are more talkative. Before, a lot of people don't want to talk as much, but in startup Launchpad, they want to tell you what their idea is. This is my next step. I know that VR is a big thing, and this is my solution on how to make VR better. And I think that's really something that's very important that a lot of old school manufacturers do miss out on. They don't really focus on what's important and what their vision is and how they provide a solution. I think solution-driven is very important, and the vision of different companies really make a difference on whether you choose to partner with one company or not. Eagerness is my third one. I think a lot of people really undervalue the eagerness of both sides to work with one another. I feel like for a lot of companies, when you see a partner or a potential partner and they're willing to go above and beyond to reach the goal together, I feel like that's when we create the best partnerships for us in our past. So for example, if we're shipping to large retailers that we know have difficult safety protocols, Walmart, Macy's, any of these North American retailers, you'll know that a maker knows what they're heading into by saying, we have test results from A, B, and C labs, and we are already certified to make sure that we can go to business as fast as we can. I think a lot of folks here know that speed is very important, especially for us in the US, and I'm sure across the world, because the world is getting smaller and smaller. And when you're able to take the first step faster than everybody else, it's much easier for us to work together and make that product ship and make that product a hit overseas much faster. And lastly, I think well-informed ties together with everything else. Ultimately, you want to research who you're talking to. If you want to build a partnership with me, you have to know who I'm shipping to and what am I looking for. I think that ties together with a target audience. A lot of times when people come and pitch, they don't understand what they're looking for, and they also don't understand what we need. So after meetings, they'll realize, oh man, we need to have 3 test results from 3 different labs, and we have to have 3 rounds of QA. This is too much, or my price is going to increase dramatically. And a lot of this can be negated on both sides. I feel like there's a lot of time that's wasted, and obviously everybody's time is valuable. So I'll go into detail with all these points and really what I see, especially going through shows, because currently the way that we work, we partnered with over 300 manufacturers and obviously a lot of retailers and wholesalers in the US. So this is obviously the key bit, and the most important part is what to prepare. So Glenn is great. I've heard a lot of the issues that happens, but how do we prepare to make things better? So let me go first with target audience. I think now you see a lot more with different partners here and different partners that we've had. They understand and they're going for something. When they come to you, they say, I know your target is about this range. I'm not going to overshoot. I'm not going to undersell. I know that you're not going to be able to buy something that maybe the likes of Apple or HTC is able to shoot for. And I know what I'm shooting for, so let's make a partnership on what we're looking for right now. And I think that target audience is very important to understand. Whether you're going wholesale, whether you're going retail, whether you're going high-end, whether you're going boutique stores, I think that's a very big piece that a lot of people don't really take advantage of. So having a target audience, when I come and say, hey, I'm trying to ship these goods to Macy's, you want to find a partner who knows what you need to do to get these products over, what they're looking for, and really what range they're trying to go for, because a lot of time is wasted when you're trying to figure out, and nowadays a lot of people want to buy things that are gold and they want to pay the price for bronze, and it doesn't really work that way. So obviously you want to understand where you're selling, where you're going to land these products, and really Who are you going to look for to try to make this happen? Secondly, I think the vision is the point that I'm going to hone in on a lot, because we've seen a lot of success stories, and I had a speech earlier this year for Global Sources as well, where there are a lot of success stories through Startup Launchpad as well. And most of the stories, as you see with the videos I've played before, are companies that have a vision. I have a vision that I want to have a new lighting solution, and this lighting solution went and shipped to Best Buy and shipped to different retailers. I have a vision that I need to sell a better home environment, and those products are sold specifically through Walmart. Whatever it may be, I feel like the vision is extremely important, and that vision should be shared from one to the other. So if you're a company looking for somebody to ship to, or vice versa, you want to make sure that you're aligned on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the next quick thing and you want it to be shipped in 3 months, you have to be upfront, because a lot of times time is wasted, like I said. Over-promised, under-delivered, and ultimately you spend a lot of time that doesn't really get to where you need to be. Personal experiences for us is that we work with companies who really know before, if we're building massage chairs, we're building a massage chair for the future. What features are we looking for? You have to do background research on what is the most important features for the product that you're doing, and say, hey, I know you're looking at A, B, and C company, but here are the ways that my product is better, or here are the benefits of my product. Instead of a lot of times the other way around, when they say, hey, have you seen this great massage chair that I have? And ultimately you go and say, but what about comparing to the sellers on the market? What about comparing to the brands that are already existing? Oh, we'll go back and do research. I think the vision is important, because everybody comes with something. Whether it's smart, whether it's price, whether it's the best quality, whatever it may be, you have to have a vision and drive that forward. Obviously, that ties together with being eager to be a partner. Being eager is very important, and like I said, you have to be ahead of the curve. When you're looking to build a partnership, you want to make sure that you already have the test submitted. If we're talking about ship dates that are happening in 3 months, these tests have to be done already. And a lot of the people who are here really forget that. They forget that they should be ahead of the game. They understand that, oh, if you place orders with us, we'll go ahead and do the testing. But they don't know that they've already missed the boat. It's too late. So if your target is to land in a large retailer in the US, for example, you have to understand the basic testing that you need to be done, whether if it's electronics, it's UL, ETL, or any of the safety compliance that you need to do beforehand. Because if you miss out on those, you miss out on a season, and ultimately the next big hit really slips through the cracks, almost literally. Once again, for us, we look for a lot of companies who are able to do that, who, when we approach, and we've worked with them for a few times, they know, this is for your fall, or this is for next year's spring, and here are the test results already, and then we go from there. Because without these, you're not able to hit the dates, and ultimately, you miss the partnerships that you're able to build with makers and also with retailers. And lastly, obviously, to go through and just do your research on who you're trying to work with. Any of the companies that you're looking for, any of the companies that you're setting up meetings with, you should know what they're looking for, ultimately what kind of price, what type of product, and when they're wanting things in stores. There's also a lot of logistic issues that I think a lot of people undervalue, and ultimately it kind of bites them in the back. One of the examples is if you have somebody you're shipping to who requires warehousing. Before, a lot of times we just drop it off, FOB. When you pick it up from the store, when you pick it up from the docks, everything's fine. But there are different partners in the States who don't have these type of infrastructure, and you have to figure out new ways on how to approach business. And a lot of the partners here forget that piece, and ultimately they miss out on partnerships they can build, because they don't understand that not everything works the same way. When you're a maker, you want to make sure that you ask, hey, what are you looking for? Right? How can I make that happen? And ultimately, what do I need to be prepared so that can happen now? One of the things that we feel like is changing, I don't think it's any secret to anybody here, is that speed has been faster and faster. Products need to be shipped yesterday, and products need to be in stores now. So ultimately, you want to make sure that all the preparation is done beforehand, which is why we titled this preparation, so that you can prepare everything beforehand and go ahead and move forward fast going forward. I think another big piece which I left out here is basically to find partners existing and build off of that. I think a lot of us are doing that now. A lot of us have big businesses with big industries, and we have industry leaders who we're working with already. But ultimately, like we said, it's about Startup Launchpad and growing together. You want to make sure that you're working with a lot of companies that are near you, a lot of the companies that are up and coming, and make sure to start off fast so that you can get into stores faster. Partnerships also work in a lot of different ways. A lot of companies are also doing different types of advising roles to make sure that they can give the best opinions so that you can move forward fast. And a lot of these are very important, I think, that work very well for a lot of the partners that we've made because they're able to stay ahead of the curve and spend a lot less time in the first few steps. So once again, basically that's a lot of the tips that we've had and a lot of success that we've had to build everything moving forward. We have our email up here. That's my personal email if anybody wants to send me an email and talk about anything. As I said, we've had a lot of experience in the past, mainly in the North American region, but hey, we're open to chat, and like I said, I'm a big advocate of working with everybody to make sure that we're moving forward. So I like to move on this type of startup environment to everybody here. Thank you.
So, any questions?
It is hot.
So if you have more questions for Glenn, please, you are very welcome to ask him directly at the floor. So thank you very much, Glenn. Please give a big welcome